I'm Kyle on the mic, and this is Stand Out with Kyle. What's up? I am Kyle on the mic, and welcome to Stand Out with Kyle, an interview series where I sit down with dope, unique individuals who have been authentically themselves, being successful in their career. And today, I have a wonderful lady, iconic artist who's been painting the city and just putting her little splat around the whole DMV and around the whole world. But before we get started, I want to tell you all, make sure you follow us on all social medias at Stand Out with Kyle. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And let's go ahead and get this show started. So like I said, I'm here with someone who is literally poured into like her career, found her niche, and is now painting the whole world and whole city just with her magic. I mean, this is someone who is definitely, I've been showing love to and also watching her grow, just doing tremendous things with just a paintbrush. But she's more than that. She's amazing. She's iconic, and she's here with us today. Give it up for the one, the only Trap Bob.
Thank you. It's an honor. It's an honor. What a great intro. Wow.
I appreciate that. Thank you. First off, how are you feeling today?
I feel great. It's actually pretty warm outside.
I know.
The sun is shining. I cannot complain.
I know the weather's been a little iffy these past few.
I feel like it's telling us we're not ready yet.
Yeah.
That's
It's funny. I saw in your notes on IG, like your IG profile pic, it's still in the chill weather.
Yes. Yes, she can't take her coat off. So it's actually reasonable outside. So.
Yeah. So is that something you do? You just change your profile pic depending on like just the season and weather?
Yeah, it's usually like a mood thing. And so I did that character to kind of show like how the winter felt. And just like even mentally how I felt. So I felt like I'm still waiting to take the layers off.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like warm up a little bit.
Yeah, layers. But today we're going to break down some layers and peel some layers of this, your journey. And I just want to start with the name Trap Bob. Now, take us through, like, how did the name come about? Because I did my research, and I know Bob the Builder. It was a Bob the Builder backpack you had, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yes, so you had a Bob the Builder backpack, and your love for Gucci Mane. So explain to us how all that came into making this iconic name to make this iconic woman right here.
Yeah, so my real name is Tenbita. It's Ethiopian, and growing up, like, people always asked me if I had a nickname, and I hated that. I felt like it was lazy and a way to like alienate people who are different than you.
Yeah.
And then I had the Bob the Builder backpack back in the like cartoon backpack time, and one of my friends saw me in the hall and just said Bob, and I just couldn't get away from it after that. And I liked how different it was and unexpected, kind of. And this was way before I got into art, but I just like that juxtaposition of that name with me. And then Gucci, obviously, love everything he's done, especially when I was like starting out, getting serious around art. Trap God had dropped. And I always did these variations of Bob as my usernames, and then I was like, and it felt very like DC. It made sense. And then, you know, I was like, oh, if I put Trap and I can pay homage and I can remember like where I'm coming from and the kind of throwing you off part. Like I just did a project where I finally had met the people I worked with in person, and they were like, we thought you were a man until now.
You like surprise?
Like, yes, I love that because I feel like that's what art's supposed to do. It's supposed to get people to think differently. That's what I try to do with my work. So I just love that surprise factor.
Well, you said art makes you think differently, and you have love for music. So we're going to do an icebreaker. Icebreaker with Trap Bob. Do an icebreaker with Trap Bob. Hey, all right, now, this icebreaker is called Color That Song. Okay. So how is it going to work is I'm going to name a song, and you have to describe to me what color that song gives you. All right?
Let's do it.
So, all right, so our first song, we can't play it because copyright. We try to make sure we stand it out always. Shout out to Stand Out with Kyle. The first song, Church Girl by Beyonce. So we think of the song Church Girl by Beyonce. What color does that give Trap Bob? What colors come to mind?
Green.
Why green?
It feels like home and natural, and I feel like for me listening to that song, I'm religious. I'm Ethiopian Orthodox, and that connection with my spirituality and my faith has been so strong in my work, and for me that feels natural and as like a base, and I feel like that's what that song feels like. It's like this expressing of that comfort with something that is foundational to you.
Wow, I would have never thought green.
Yeah, me neither until right now.
Yeah,
I really wouldn't have even thought about putting the color together.
Listen, Beyonce, if you haven't put the visuals out yet, and it comes out anything green with Church Girl, or maybe you're telling us that, well, we'll get to Beyonce in a minute, all right? We'll get to Beyonce in a minute because the comment working, okay? All right, next song is The Now Is a River by Doechii.
Ooh. Yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah. I just feel like when I think of Doechie's music, it's like super authentic.
Yeah.
But in an expressional way, like the sun shines. That's what I feel like she gives in her messaging. So that just brings me to Yellow. It just feels like authenticity.
I like that. I sense that. I just felt like a sunrise just happened.
Yeah, like it makes sense, and it always ties back to nature.
Okay.
That's where all the colors start.
Come on, see, look, you know the origin of that. I'm on here. I don't know when the color started. I just saw the rainbow. Like, thank you, Jesus, for another day.
Hey, that's nature right there.
All right, that is nature.
And faith, all of it, I feel like falls under the same category.
Okay, bet. All right, next song. The video just came out. Luther by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. What color comes to mind?
Purple.
Purple. Why purple?
Yeah. It's like smooth and I feel like it's collaborative. You know, like blue and red. And I feel like especially when they do music together and their history, it's like the colors meshed well. Like it's already a color when they came together versus them making something brand new, which I think brings a sense of connection or it evokes like that memory of like comfort, like something nostalgic. That's what it makes me feel.
I like that.
Yeah.
I can see I'm seriously, I'm not just saying this because you're saying it because you're here, but no, I can see purple too.
Yeah, it's like
this world my purple.
Yeah, it just feels and I think you also have to kind of go with your immediate reaction.
Yeah.
And if I think about it too much, I could say every color, but
true.
It's like whatever I see in my head is what I feel like it is.
Well, I like that. Okay, our last and final song.
Yeah.
All right, now this one, I don't know if you know this artist, but Trap House 3 by Gucci Mane. What color comes to mind when you think about that song?
Automatically pink. As for personal reasons, but also that song just means so much to me, and just my love of Gucci's music. And for me, my work has a lot of pink, and I hated pink when I was a kid.
I was gonna say you hated pink, and now it's like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, and then I hated it because it was like put on me because it's me and my sister, and then we have two brothers. So it's always like we're pink and purple, and they're blue and green, and I didn't like the like expectation that I would want that color. And then I feel like when I got into art and grew up, I chose it. Like I actually love the color, and I think it's powerful and different and all the things that I feel about myself. So it changed my relationship with liking that color.
Wow.
Because it wasn't just that it's the color, it's also like a choice. Especially like the color pink, it's a choice.
Yeah.
It doesn't just,
gender
fall
reveal,
into your
blue,
lap.
pink, girls, pink. This
Exactly.
Pink.
It's very distinct, and its history even, it's represented masculine before, it's represented feminine. Now I think we're kind of in the middle. There's like the millennial pink thing, and because of how I feel about Gucci's music, I feel like the pink just pops out as soon as I think about it.
Facts. Now, have you ever met Gucci Mane? Like, I mean,
No.
it's bound to happen. Like, if you want
to.
to say something to Gucci right now, what you want to say?
Call me.
Call
Let's
her.
Work. I appreciate you for always being committed and authentic and evolving and growing and representing that consistency. I think it's really important.
Facts. And like you said the word consistency, and that is something you've been doing since birth, I believe. All right, now talk to us. When did it become consistent when you knew that art and being an artist and, freelancing and painting was like a thing? When did that get started for you?
I was in undergrad at Maryland.
Okay.
I studied marketing, so I don't have an art degree.
Wow.
I studied business.
Okay.
And I got to a point maybe like junior year, where I fell into business going into college because I didn't see the point of studying anything else, to be honest. I was always like disciplined, but I never was connected to anything. Like I did every sport, every instrument. I was a very serious dancer all through high school, state champ.
Really?
Yeah,
Do people know this?
I don't know. Maybe I've talked about it. I feel like I've lived so many lives before art.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really like close anything off. I never was excited for anything, but I was disciplined.
Wow.
So I would be like very serious, leading an organization or playing an instrument. I played like the bass, like the big bass, violin, piano, bells, like gloves and bells, like literally. And I'd have to come to school early to learn certain instruments because they weren't being taught to everyone else. And this was like elementary school. So I just was always busy and committed. I just never was passionate about anything.
Wow.
So I feel like I built up a lot of skills before even college. And then in college, I let myself kind of see where I landed. And then by junior year, I got stressed out at realizing I didn't know what I was going to do, and everyone asked me about what I wanted to do as a career. And after graduation, and I just felt like I was lying all the time. I felt like I was a liar because I was answering the questions instead of questioning what was being asked of me, and if those are even things that I wanted.
Thanks.
So I had all these like very like low-level electives left over in my credits because I never took electives because I didn't see the point. And I took a oil painting class.
Okay.
Which oil painting is very meticulous. The setup process in itself, you have to learn. There's a lot of chemicals. It takes days for the oil to dry. It's something you can really manipulate. And I fell in love with it. It was very difficult to learn though. And so that was my first step into learning anything traditionally, artistically. And I fell in love with it, and I felt like I never felt, it was like falling in love, literally. And it, like my eyes changed, that's how I say it. Like I started to see things very differently, and to question more things, and to think deeper and understand myself better. And so I just flipped everything around. I didn't even have a blueprint of how to be an artist. I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know, there wasn't like examples of what I'm doing now at the time. But my father is an amazing artist, like, amazing. When he came to America, he got a full ride to Parsons. He did every medium. He's very talented. So he also raised me and my siblings in a creative way, but without pushing the narrative of like being an artist, anything like that. So it kind of brought everything together for me in the moment. And I just kept going forward. I kept taking steps to find out how to get there. I never worried about failing. I didn't care really. I felt crazy, to be honest. I feel like I blacked out. Like I was
nothing matters.
Yeah,
just
it really
it.
didn't. I just was like, I finally am not living like a liar anymore. That's enough for me. I'm living as myself.
You found your freedom.
Yeah.
You found a way to stand out, and what stood out to you was just living in your truth.
Yep, 100%. And I wouldn't give that up, and I wouldn't worry about losing that because I couldn't at that point. I already had it. So I think because of that, my decision making became like whatever I need to do to learn. I didn't care about failing or looking stupid or feeling like everybody else or feeling like I was accomplished in the same way that maybe your age expectations come. And that allowed me to just keep trying, and then freelancing became my classroom because people would ask me to do things that I obviously had never done unless I just did it myself. And I got to try so many mediums. I got to help a lot of people. As a business major, when I studied that, marketing to me was them just telling me that the world is art. Every lesson we had, I'd be like, okay, you're just showing me there's more and more art all the time.
And you live by a quote, art can change the world. That's
exactly,
what you live by.
100%. So, and save it. And so to me, working with clients, especially a lot of nonprofits I work with locally, I want to bring their vision to life. That means something to me. And part of that is my business mind, part of that is my artistic mind. I feel like I'm a tool. And I have an expertise, and this person has a message that they want to bring across. So I want to help them to communicate something important, because you need art. You know, there's no movement without art behind it.
Facts of art, like this, that whole story, and this, I love how everything was full circle. You're talking about your dad being an artist, but overall, you were doing artistic things with like, you know, dance, when it comes to instruments, you know, using your natural abilities to go ahead and make something shine or make something just rise. But then you decided to tap into something that you just probably thought you would never tap into. And that was back to what your dad was used to do. How full circle was that for him? How did he feel about that when you did, like, was he like, Dad, I think I like doing art or painting? He's like, for real? You serious?
I don't think him or my parents were surprised. I think they just always want me to be comfortable and, you know, taken care of in my life and my future.
I think that's key to also coming out in your truth as well. To like 100%. Having acceptance by your parents. Because everybody, you know, especially, you know, our parents are a different generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like you have to get this type of job or you have to be this way because they are afraid of failure. Or they are afraid of this not making the expectations they need to make their parents happy or what society thinks of them. But I think for you, opposite, moving in a, I don't care, you know, not I don't care, but it's like, you know, what's meant for me is what's gonna be meant for me, and I'm not afraid to fail mentality, especially in college. It's not, it's different. That stands out, and I'm not trying to keep saying that. It really does. You know what I'm saying?
100%. And my parents are immigrants, so
so talk about how immigrant parents. How was that?
They're like traditional and open and flexible. They've always supported me. I know I can go to them about anything, and they know that I make good decisions. They trusted me at that point, especially. So they were a little worried, but they kind of knew they didn't have a choice but to let me do what I need to do, because when I commit to something, I do it all the way.
Yeah.
So they were worried. They asked me some questions. They didn't really get it. My dad was excited, but still, like, being a father, thinking about me being able to have a future. And they still wanted me to be able to apply, like, my degree in some sense, which I 100% did. I'm glad I studied business.
Yeah.
That really helped me to get where I'm at now and to have the mindset. And I think it sharpened my creativity, because I had this other, I believe in, like, juxtaposition a lot.
Yeah,
like, a lot of the things that I learn from and get inspiration from are not in the field that I do. I really work to, like, get out of already the space that I'm comfortable in, because then I'll keep thinking the same way everyone else is thinking, or other artists have thought before, and I want to be able to be different. So I'd already collected so many skills that it just made so much sense to me, and I was so sure about it.
Yeah, and I think, originality is sometimes hard now.
Yeah.
Because everything is recycled, resurfaced, and then you use other people's, ideas and things like that but make it your own. Oh, excuse me. Make it your own, but you said, you want to be original with your stuff, and I think that's what makes you, like, different from the rest. And one thing you did, and I think it applied to now, I see why marketing was in your overall aura when it comes to marketing yourself. Trapathon. You started doing that.
Yeah.
You started doing that because you was like, it's the way this industry is. It's like you got to know somebody, or it's like they're looking for this, or what's popping here. But you did a thing like, I'm gonna create my own stage. I'm gonna create my own platform where I'm going to make sure my work is out there, and the people who really support me, and the people I want to market to get here, why not do this myself? Sometimes we always look for other people to do things for us when we have the tools ourselves to make it happen. Talk about Trapathon.
Yeah, Trapathon's my baby. I even have the original logo.
Yes, on your
tatted on my hand.
Hey,
I love it so
that's
much.
how you know it's real. I get the stand out tattoo. It's real.
Yeah. Oh, look at, see, come on.
Come on, stand out. Come on.
Yeah. So I mean that's exactly where I was at that time. Like, completely fresh into it. I had no idea how things were supposed to go. I didn't even care.
Yeah,
I just
love
wanted
that.
to. I really did not care.
That. I don't care. This tatted.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get it tatted.
It's so important of a mentality, I think, especially starting out, because imposter syndrome takes over.
Facts.
You don't have proof of concept yet.
Facts.
And that also, though, allowed me to be audacious, because what was gonna make me think I couldn't do it either?
Yeah.
I think it was crazy enough that it wouldn't hurt to try and to put myself out there, and I didn't worry about the results. I just knew if I do it, it will make an impact. And I had no idea how to enter the gallery space. I'd already been doing so many shows in DC. It was like the art party time, so I was showing at a lot of, like, DJ sets and parties like that, and I loved that too, because I wasn't around artists, I was around creatives. That's what I love about DC and DMV, because everyone is doing something that they care about from their own perspective and without backing, without the outside validation, right? So me doing that show, to me, was a reflection of what everyone in the city was doing, putting on their own things. So I brought together, like, DJs that I worked with, friends to help me bring it all together. I just rented an Airbnb and took the artwork down and hung my stuff up. I'm still kicked off Airbnb to this day because of that show.
Really?
Yeah.
Airbnb. Brain Trap Ball back in rotation, because she could help you all make a cool Airbnb space.
I don't know, it might be too late.
Oh, Airbnb. They might see this. Yeah, Brain Trap Ball back to Airbnb.
Email me.
That's crazy. So they just hit you like, yeah, girl, you're banned. Yeah. And what you say? I don't care.
I was like, okay, next. Like, what am I going to do? It went well. I'm glad I did it.
Light a blunt and keep it moving.
I'm glad I did it. It was a great show. It was a great experience for me. It helped me expand more, and it was for the community. Like, I'd already been doing so much stuff that wasn't my own. Yeah. And I was gaining a following and support, and I just wanted to be able to, like, have a space to bring those people together and get feedback and feel like an artist and put on a show and not wait 2 decades until maybe a gallery wanted to put me on. Yeah. That part wasn't as important to me. And it was when I was really experimental too, trying out different stuff. So that was a really important moment for me, and that whole time period just flew by. I felt like I was doing things every weekend, running around, talking with people, coming up with ideas. I was like a machine. Like, I would get an idea, I had to put it out there. And so going from, I loved painting, but I started to teach myself Illustrator online, Adobe Illustrator. Yeah. And I got into illustration, and I loved it because I could do my ideas a little quicker than when I was painting. And it kind of became my main medium. It became like my favorite way to communicate. I started doing like social media posts about things going on in media online, funny things going on. I did like a Snapchat series of when Khaled was doing his, his funny Snapchats.
Yeah.
And then Complex stole that and used it in an article. And I was doing a lot of
Complex
stuff.
took your idea.
It was just, at that time too, like I would do a lot of current event things and people would just take it in.
And that's how you knew you were original. That's how you knew yeah.
And I know going onto the internet, I was like, I have to accept that this is a lawless place. Like, once I put it out there, it's out there. I could spend my time chasing people around, or I could just keep making things that, I could keep making a brand that people would recognize. So if something happened like that, I always had people share it with me. I used to call it like a Trap Bob army. Like, would send it to me and spam the page and do all that stuff. And I appreciated seeing those moments though, because it meant that I was making an impact and that it was something that was worth copying or stealing, whatever it is. And I know myself, I'm an abundant source. I'm always just gonna make more. By the time something is used that I've done, I've made something else.
Yeah, you're on to the next one. That's the old move. So y'all thinking you catching up, but you're not on. You're on the track. I'm already 5 steps ahead.
Exactly.
And like you said, illustrating, animation. I mean, all that. Even though people are copying it, but you never know who's watching because you got a chance to work with Missy Elliott.
Yes.
You had to work with Miss on the Driftamina video.
Yes.
You did the animation for that video, and what a full circle. She just wrapped up Coachella.
Unbelievable.
How was that experience? Like, how did that call happen? Working with Missy Elliott.
So I was doing this thing called 29 Rooms. Refinery 29 had this touring exhibition.
Yeah.
And I did a staircase for it.
Okay.
And so it was in a couple different cities around the country. It was in Atlanta, and one of the producers who was working with Missy went to the show and saw my staircase and then went and looked up my work. And I just happened to do an illustration of Missy from a music video right before they were shooting this one. And at the time I was always drawing artists, especially women artists, because if there was like an inspiring moment or something that excited me, I just wanted to draw that moment.
Yeah.
So she had this scene with like her pigtails were like floating and kind of dancing, and she was blowing
Missy
a bubble.
Elliott stuff.
Yeah, and I saw it and I was like, how have I not drawn Missy Elliott yet? I love her, and I loved the video. The director and producer of the team that was doing her visuals at the time was amazing. Yeah. So I drew it and I had posted it not too long before they saw that. And when they came to my page, they saw that. They contacted me and they were like, would you want to do some work on the video and fly out to be at the set?
You better be on the set. I was like, yes. Like, you gonna use my artwork? Bring me there in person, all right?
Yeah, so
Suck it to me.
It was great.
Well, hold on, but yeah, you get it. Come on, stand up, Kyle.
It's serious. I was that excited, and I got to go do the shoot. And I was actually, me and her have similar complexion, so they used me to do the lighting for all her scenes.
Come on, so you were Missy Elliott for like an hour.
Yeah, I would just be standing. They'd set the lighting for her, and then she would come in and shoot. It was unbelievable.
Wow. Do you all still keep in contact? Is there still any type of like
on social media sometimes, and I'm still.
That's it. That's relevant.
With
She's
the art
staying up to date stuff.
Yeah, and they were great. I got to do animation on the video, which was really cool because I was there when they were shooting it for the parts that the animation would go on. And then she did another video after that was like in a gallery, and it was different artworks of her, and they used that illustration that they originally found me with in the video, which was super cool. Yeah, it was amazing.
I mean, that's icons working with.
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Yes, I mean, that's amazing. To meet her, to have your artwork be this, that's forever stamped. That's never going away. That video,
crazy.
And one thing I respect about Missy Elliott, she always shows respect to the artists when it comes to dance, visuals. Like, I feel like she's allowed the few artists that really, really go to the source instead of just taking them and be like, well, it's out there, so I can just use it.
100%. She was amazing. She shouted me out on Twitter, like, after we did the video, and like, it was just amazing. But I didn't post that picture because I knew that all that was going to happen. Yeah. I just
sometimes just like live in the moment, and like I think in this industry we do so many dope things. Yeah. And like you just got to wait on it. Yep. And then when it comes out, it's like woo. Yeah. I mean, you said she shouted you out, and legends shouting you out. I mean, not just even Missy Elliott, Beyonce shouted you out on her page. On a black artist on her website. Yeah. And Beyonce, one thing she don't play, when she put on the website, that website gets clicks. Oh, everybody was watching that.
Yes, 100%.
Where were you at? What was going on when you found out Beyonce, specifically, out of millions of artists around the world, decided to choose you to highlight on her website?
I literally woke up in my apartment. It was COVID. I just woke up in my apartment, and someone had DM'd me another artist that had been put on the list, and it's in alphabetical order. So their name, it'll show like you and another person, and I was the other artist on her. And it was like a big visual artist. And so they sent her post about her being on it, and I saw myself, and I was like, there's no way. And I went on the website and saw and lost my mind. It was unbelievable. And then I FaceTimed my sister, and we're screaming, and I had to pull the Hennessy out. And
hey, we gotta go ahead and take a shot for me.
Oh, I was so excited. I mean, I was speechless. And the picture they used, I had done this series called Girls in Power with different women of color from different industries who were really successful. And she was on that group of people that I did. And so they used a photo that I had that collection up of me and myself with it. And it was amazing.
I mean,
I was speechless.
Yeah, no pun intended. Beyonce song.
Truly.
Can you sing?
You know, sometimes.
Oh yeah, listen.
When I'm really happy. I sing,
happy?
Yeah.
All I really want.
I ain't gonna give a scalp for
that. That's
it.
Come on now.
It sounds like that. It sounds just like that.
It sounds like that, but no. That first of all, that's amazing to get that recognition on a high level with dope, amazing artists who really take art seriously. You're not just putting anybody out there. That's how I know you're serious. Yeah. But I'm gonna go back into your artwork. Now there are 3 colors that are like your signature colors that we see you use, and that is pink, teal, and orange. So how are those colors? How did you come about using those base colors, and what do they mean to you intentionally? Yeah.
So the way I look at it is like I have primary, secondary. So pink and blue are the primary, and then the teal and orange are secondary. For branding purposes, it helps me to keep my brand consistent. But before that, I really liked the kind of control factor I had to have with the colors. I get lost in options. I really easily get decision paralysis. So limiting my color palette to what spoke to me helped a lot, instead of having kind of in between colors that weren't there for a reason. I felt I'm like a high contrast person, so my work is very like the values are 0 to 100. I don't. I think the way I see it, if I don't see the high contrast, I can't see the design. So I started to notice the colors that were popping up for me more if I had to choose. It was always those kind of bright, high contrast colors, and they were always to the point that people will refer to my work as neon, which I don't think it's neon, but I think I see color a little. Like I need a little more light in my eyes to see things. Yeah. So like if I'm in the sun, I don't like to wear sunglasses because I can't see well. I need more light coming in. And I'm the same way when I work. I like to have a lot of light in my eyes to work. So those colors for me they communicate quickly. It keeps everything consistent, and they're fun. You know, they bring the hopeful side, because I cover a lot of. I think a lot of people think my work is happy, which it is, but it's also, I try to tackle difficult conversations, but in a digestible way. Yeah. So when you first see it, to see like my characters and the color, you can step into it, and then you can take a second to really see like what's going on. Like a lot of times the characters are emotional women, depicting those things in a fun way, because that's how I feel when I express myself. Yeah, you're having fun about doing it. There's so many things you have done just to paint that image and put that expression around the whole DMV, and now you work with the MLS All-Stars in 2023. You know, explain how amazing that was. It was at the Wharf, right? It was a soccer ball at the Wharf, and just to have your family see it. My condolences, your grandmother see that, and things as well. Really important. How important was that for her to see her grandchild really doing what she loves, and be able for her to see that? That was everything for her to be able to. She had dementia at the time. She's had it for a little over a decade. So to be able to have her come out and to see it, she came to my first gallery show. She got to see the soccer ball. It was amazing. I mean, that project was really great because I do a lot of work in soccer. Yes, you do. And I kind of fell into it. I fall into a lot of things, and it just made sense. But it was something, again, juxtaposition. I didn't understand at first, like, how could my work work well for this sport? And then being Ethiopian, like, that connection meant a lot too. So. It was really just beautiful, and then having MLS do All-Star Week in DC was a huge thing in the first place, so I'm always excited to represent for DC, especially at a national scale. Yes. So having them come in and really want to hear the real voice of the city and see how I wanted to express what DC felt like was really great, because they weren't trying to tell me what to do. Yeah. And I really appreciated that. I loved working with them. We also did a jersey for their EMLS gaming, an Ocho Cinco award. That was so amazing. Oh yeah, that's dope. Yeah, it was so cool. So the ball was at the Wharf for the week of All-Star Week, and now it's living at Audi.
Yeah.
Sitting out there, yeah.
Yeah, and I love when I go places and I see, like you said, those colors that represent your brand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, when you see these colors, you see the orange, the teal, the pink, you know that's Trap Bob. And seeing that around the city, honestly, that makes me happy because it's a full circle moment. I want to say thank you for just rocking with me and just, being supportive with me as well, because we talked about a pandemic. I did my millennial discussion. You were on my millennial discussion.
Yeah, that was really great.
Yes, I was able to shine light to you during a time where everybody was at home, and I just wanted to talk to people. Yeah. And now, full circle moment, we're here in person.
Yes.
We're here for Stand Out with Kyle. So, I just want to say thank you for rocking out with me with that and all things you've been doing, because it's amazing. I do, before we go ahead and wrap up, I want to ask you, like, what makes you stand out? As an artist, as an individual, like, what makes you stand out?
Authenticity. I think for me, I never had a moment where I wanted to fit in. So I've never felt plagued by trying to figure out how to be the same.
Yeah.
I appreciate being different and trusting myself. And that trust is what allows me to be authentic and make unique, inspired work. And it also allows me to digest and support other people, because I don't see this tether to our success. I really feel like it's an abundant world, we're abundant sources, we can get anything done. So the more that I can support and take in from other people, the more inspired I get, and then we build a beautiful creative community versus trying to like idea hoard or hold on to things or not know when to let go. That's such an important thing. And so I think it all comes to authenticity through trust and faith. And that just allows me to be real and open and available. Yeah, to the community.
No, for sure. You definitely been open with open arms with me. You definitely been open to this, freelancing around the city. I know I keep saying that, but it's a beautiful thing to see, because a lot of people sometimes don't think or never would have thought that, okay, could I make a living? Could I do this? Can this really happen as an artist? Is this going to help me pay the bills? But you have to have that, as an artist or a creative, you have to have that I don't care mentality. You have to lead by faith. You know what I'm saying? And you have to just go ahead and be as confident and as crazy as you have to be to stand out.
You gotta be crazy.
Yeah, and I know before we wrap, you worked with a beer company. You did a can, and someone had tatted your artwork on them, and you signed their leg.
Yeah,
someone tatted your work.
It's crazy.
Someone got your work.
That's not the first time.
Yes, someone got.
Really
I saw they got your work tatted on their leg, and you signed it. How was that?
It was so cool. The tattoo looked great. I mean, I love tattoos. I have some of my work
tatted.
You're
gonna redo my artwork. Make sure it look right now. Okay.
For real, and I love the spread of that. I appreciate it, and it's another form of expression. Like, I have outline tattoos all over. Some of my work, some aren't, but I feel like a coloring book. And I feel like...
Is that the reason for all the tats? If like your bodies are like your expression?
Yeah, and I feel like life colors it, like I'm just living as the outline, and to see other people appreciate it and to take a chance and want to be a piece of that is really beautiful. And I think all of that, like you said, it is from faith, and it's like, don't be the first person to tell yourself no. Yeah. If the world's gonna say no, let them say no. But most of the time, that question won't even come up. Yeah. And I think people worry too much about how it's gonna go. But what if you're limiting by your expectations? Yeah. Like where I'm at now, there is no way when I started in college I could have thought this. There's no way I could have predicted it, manifested it, any of that, because I didn't have enough information at the time. So anytime we try to control our future, we're working from limited information. So I'd rather just try and be crazy and take a chance and do something than be frozen in fear of whether or not something's gonna go well.
Listen, face your fears, be crazy while doing it, self-confidence, and mainly just be authentically you, and that's how you stand out. Trap Bob, first of all, I want to thank you so much for being on Stand Out with Kyle. Can you let everybody know where they can keep up with you as well at this camera right here? Let them know how they keep up with you and what you got planned that we can, any exclusive, anything we can get right now
from
you?
I do have a little something. Well, you can follow me at TrapXBob on Instagram, trapbob.com online, and I have my own papers. Rolling papers coming out.
Oh!
And I'm very, very excited for, and a couple other things. So that's going to be shared soon, probably like early summer.
Okay, well, look, you know she love her green and her money. All right, that's the main green she like, and the one that keeps her sane to make her stand out. Well, we appreciate you all for watching this episode of Stand Out with Kyle. I am Kyle on the mic. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and also follow us on all social medias at Stand Out with Kyle, and follow me at Kyle on the mic. Chat Bob, I appreciate you.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's so great.
Thank you.